Today we got our CEO and founder Carlos Rene and COO the Rabbit King in the house talking to us. We're gonna be speaking about the upcoming ISPO, some details, and of course the contest. Bro, remember, before we start this, there's an ongoing contest during this phase for people who ask questions, comments, or just say something in this tweet promoting the space and mentions three friends. You gotta be following DEGA. But that is one of the ongoing contests for DEGA tokens. But let's start today by welcoming our guests. Hello, how are you guys?
Hey, Freak, all good,
Yo.
all great. And well, I guess it's kind of not even an upcoming ISPO, right? Because, well, we wanted to give this entire week to answer questions, around the article and everything. But everybody just went and searched and scouted for the stake pool and started delegating. So the cat's out of the bag. What will be happening next week is the release of the dashboard, right? That's where everybody will be able to track their rewards. But yeah, basically, we're here. It's time. It's show time.
Yes, today's topics are very exciting. I know people have been asking questions, the chats are going crazy. We already got some community people answering, and understanding in depth what we're doing. We already got a community member that created an explainer video in YouTube. So this kind of like just started going full force, bro. It's kind of like
Yep,
it leaked and everyone started thinking. It was insane. Yesterday, it was insane, bro, for me.
yep. It was a very exciting time, man. Looking forward to all the things we're going to be working with the community in these few weeks. And by the way, after we talk about the ISPO, we should mention the tribes competition that we're going to have, right? With the Dega BattleBot. And
Oh,
there's a few more tribes coming on board as well.
that's for the end, bro. That's for the end. Let's leave it. Let's leave it like the
Hmm.
how do you say, like the tension and drama generation,
Hmm.
you know, kind of thing of the big announcement. But today our topic, it is, I think it is the ISPO, and we should be addressing this in a very simple way. We know the Cardano people know what an ISPO is. They already done it. Like the project is very natural to the Cardano ecosystem. But for the rest of the world, this is something new, unique. People don't understand the dynamic, maybe. So can we go back to the basic?
Sure, sure.
Oh,
Um, yeah, so basically, for everybody that's not familiar with the concept, we're doing an ISPO, right? An ISPO stands for Initial Stake Pool Offering. In Cardano, there's this thing called stake pools, which is the equivalent of a validator or a node, right? All blockchains have validators. In proof of work system, you just gotta, check the proof of work algorithm. In proof of stake systems, it's all about staking tokens, right? Staking is just another word for meaning that um, well, actually in Cardano, you don't lock them in, but in other systems, you gotta lock them in, and then people can delegate to you, right? It's kind of like voting, right? When I delegate to your stake pool or your node, it's like giving you my voting power from my ADA, which is the token in Cardano. So usually, in exchange for me delegating, now that your node has a greater voting power, you're mining more blocks, right? You're validating more blocks. So for in exchange for that, blockchains reward you with more tokens, right? And this is something that all blockchains do, not only Cardano. All the blockchains give the people that validate their nodes more coins in exchange, right? Because you're helping secure the network, so the network is paying you. So normally I would distribute that with my delegators, right? Because I'm running the node, but I'm able to validate more blocks thanks to the delegation that I'm getting. So usually they would delegate to me, we would split the fee, right? I think that the average fee is around 5% or something like that. for the validator, and then the rest goes to the delegator. So that's what you normally have. And an ISPO comes and says, well, you know what? You want to support new projects. You want to do it in a way that you can still keep your ADA. You don't want to lose, the token of the ecosystem that you appreciate the most. So what you would do in an ISPO is you delegate, right? So you get to keep your ADA and you give the yield, right? The rewards to the project that's setting up the validator, right? So the project, the new startup, it could even be a non-for-profit project. They get to keep all of the rewards that are being generated by the network. And they, in exchange, give you the project token, right? Or the project NFTs. So that means that, for example, in our case, DEGA, a new gaming layer protocol, we're going to set up a new layer 2 on top of Cardano in partnership with Cornucopias. So for those that want to support us in this effort, they can delegate to our stake pool. We keep the data generated from the delegation, and in exchange for that, we are distributing the DEGA token, right? Which is the token that's going to be the utility and capturing value in this new layer 2 that we're building, and other layer 2s that we're going to be deploying in the future. So that's kind of like what it is, right? As a whole, very detailed, granular explanation of what an ISPO is for those that are not familiar with it.
Okay, thank you. I think that's pretty clear. So it is a way, like a really different, like, figure that we used to. And how what would be the best kind of like real life example to compare it, or there it doesn't exist? It's just so unique that it doesn't.
In real life example, there are financial instruments that allow you to diversify your investment, right? So, for example, you can put, let's say, um, your capital, let's say, on oil, right? Commodities, right? So you're buying, let's say, an oil company ETF. So that means that you're diversified among multiple oil company stocks, right? Or directly the commodity. And then the yield that you generate from that, you can put into tech stocks, right? So you're buying technology company stocks. So now you're exposed to those two different sectors, um, thanks to an instrument that automatically takes the yield from one and buys the other. But none of them, absolutely none of them, are going to give you a structured product in which you're using the yield from, let's say, a stable generation, and then use that to buy a venture, right? Like startup equity and so forth. So I don't believe that has ever been done. So ISPOs are indeed very powerful and very unique.
Yeah, I think that even this one that is multi-chain and everything, we're going to talk about the Cardano ISPO that's already ongoing, but uh, the doing it multi-chain is opening this to the world, and that's what makes it also be, besides the gamification that we're going to talk about it later. Uh, this makes it open to, I don't know, I think it's the pretty much all the crypto blockchain ecosystem. So this is something unique. This is something important happening right now. For me, it's kind of like history in the making. What we're doing here. But
Yeah,
for people,
yeah,
there's also a tribal and community aspect in an ISPO, which is not only investing, it's also built. You become part of the project. That's kind of like how I've seen the ISPO. It also, people engages more with the community. They want to build
one
the,
thing.
the, the project.
Give
Yeah.
me a sec. I think that I don't know if it's me, but I hear you like you're breaking up. Rabbit, can you confirm if Freak is breaking up or is it
Yeah,
me?
I'm confirming. Freak, you're really breaking up there,
Wait,
buddy.
why? I have nothing going on right now, but let me check. But did you get my question at the end?
No, I just heard you comment something about, besides the fact that we're doing a multi-chain ISPO, that there's also the tribe and the community aspect to it, but I didn't get the question.
The question is like, why is ISPO a more powerful figure to do, not only for the investment side, but also on that building the project and the tribe community around it?
So the thing with ISPOs that sets them apart is that they're completely open, right? You can't limit anybody from participating in a stake pool. So that's kind of like the cool thing about it, right? It's open for anybody that wants to support the project, and it's also you're supporting actually two projects, right? You're helping keep the Cardano network secure by delegating to the stake pool, and you're supporting the new project, right? That's getting that's setting up the stake pool and the validator. So that's kind of like what's special about it. It's also important in the sense that it's ongoing for multiple months versus what you usually have if you want to participate in a project, you want to be a member of a community, you gotta buy the NFT, but the NFTs are sold out literally in like 10 seconds, so you missed out. So here with DEGA, it's something that's open for everybody. You got time to organize yourself, to organize your team, your community, your colleagues. And what we're doing with the multi-chain ISPO, we're going to gamify it, right? But truly, that is something that I do not want to go into right now. I want to keep this conversation focused around purely the article that Rabbit published around the ISPO, the bonuses, the duration, any questions that anybody may have around that. That's what I want to keep it focused on. All the gamification and play your way things, I think we should leave for another session.
Perfect. So
for anybody in the audience right now, do feel free to leave comments, to put your questions in the comments of this space so that we can check them out, and we're more than happy to address any doubt that you have, right?
Okay, so for the matter of this session, let's go into the high level overview of what is going on right now with the ADA, with the pool, with the Cardano, and everything. There's a bunch of bonuses. There's a lot of things that can happen. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what is going on right now? How can we access it, and in which way we can power up the staking?
Sure thing. So first off, for everybody, if you ever have questions, if you ever have doubts about something, go to the DEGA website, right? DEGA.org or DEGA.org. And that's where you'll find our blog posts, you'll find the links to all of our social media, all of our chats and forums. Do be mindful that there will be bad actors out there impersonating us, trying to scam you, so do be careful with that. And then in the blog post where we shared the information about the ISPO, essentially we outline three types of bonuses, right? There's one that's based on the duration, right? Like the longer you've been in the ISPO, the more you're going to get, the bigger the data that you're going to accrue for your staking, right? So that's one type of bonus, right? And that's basically after let's say you started delegating now, there's X amount of epochs that we've set out for each of these levels. And every time that you cross that time, let's say it's 9 epochs, every time you cross that period, then you're going to start getting that data bonus going forward. Then there's also a bonus for our partner communities, right? So if you're a holder of Meld, if you're a holder of Kopi, there's another bonus that you're getting. It's important to note here that these bonuses do not compound or build on top of each other, right? It's just like it's one bonus, right? It's the partner bonus. So you're getting it whether you have Meld, Kopi, or both, but you're only getting that one bonus, right? It's not multiple bonuses per partner. And there's an amount there that we set out, the minimum amount of Meld, the minimum amount of Kopi that you need to hold to be able to get that bonus. And then there's the NFT bonus, right? And for that one, it's we're actually going to be doing the equivalent of a pre-mint right now, right? So we're going to give you, we're not going to directly mint them on chain coming up. We're going to give you the equivalent of a voucher, right? You can just purchase it and you can get rolling with that. We did this for simplicity, right? Because the ISPO is actually multi-chain. So we're building out a few frameworks so that the NFTs will also be multi-chain. And in the meantime, you can do the pre-mint, but it already starts to account for the bonus of your staking. We'll be publishing a detailed guide in terms of how to mint them, how they connect to your wallet, everything, right? And also, of course, showcasing the beautiful 3D art that these NFTs are made with, which I'm telling y'all, you will not be disappointed when you see that. Rabbit, anything you'd like to add regarding the bonuses?
The only thing I'd like to, we're talking about with the NFT bonus is that we're hinting at some of the player way kind of like activity in them. For example, this NFT is going to have a certain affinity associated with it. So it's like the affinity for this NFT, because we're starting with Cardano, it's going to have a Cardano affinity, which means that this NFT will be good for when you are delegating to a Cardano stake pool. So like, I think Carlos, in the past, you said, we're not going to stop you from, if you have Ethereum, to delegate in Ethereum. So the Cardano affinity NFT will not work with your
Yeah, Rabbit,
Ethereum
Rabbit,
staking.
I really think we shouldn't go there right now, right? Like it'll just confuse.
You want to leave that
Yeah,
alone?
yeah, it'll confuse everybody because
Okay.
ISPOs are in Cardano only right now. When we start migrating them to other platforms, we'll have to explain how they work there and everything, right? So I don't see, let's push that out for later.
I was getting excited.
Yeah, it's so hard because all of this stuff is so intertwined.
Yes.
Um, it's
Yes.
like when the DEGA ecosystem is like really, really, really intertwined. So
Yes.
it's hard to kind of like just stop yourself when you're talking about these types of these types of attributes that are associated with these NFTs.
Yeah, I guess we could say it like, for example, something very simple for everybody to know what's coming up, right? I'm going to let the cat out of the bag in terms of the gameplay, right, or the gamification aspect of it. Basically, as you've heard us mention in a few of our Twitter spaces, perhaps you've joined us in the past. So DEGA is bringing the ISPO's multi-chain, right? This is a concept that's super well known in Cardano. It is absolutely not known outside of Cardano. Like we were having yesterday conversations with people from Polkadot. They've never heard of ISPOs. It's not known in Polygon. It's not known in Ethereum. It's not known in Avalanche. So, we think that this is a great mechanism, a truly innovative way of thinking that arose in Cardano, and we, think that it's something that other ecosystems should also take advantage of. So, what we're going to be doing for the DEGA ISPO is basically each of the different communities are going to have affinities tied to their NFTs, and that'll allow you to have kind of like the horde and the alliance, right? And then you guys will get to battle it out. So Cardano will get to battle out against the Polkadot people, against the Ethereum people, against the Polygon people, to compete, right? So that's kind of like at a high level. I don't want to go into details of mechanics of how it'll tie it into each respective stake pools and everything. That'll be a whole different blog post. But just for y'all to know,
that's perfect.
yeah.
That's perfect, Carlos. Well, I did want to say one last thing specifically for this NFT. Owning, just like with our, similar to the partner bonus, having more than one of these do not compound your bonus reward. So
Yeah.
having one of them is enough.
That was going to be one of my questions.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yes, and the important thing that Well, one thing that we can reveal, I think, as well, is for everybody to know. Well, somebody might be saying, "Well, if just having one is cool, why would I want to have more?" Right? And the thing is, because in DEGA, the first NFT you mint with your address would be your avatar, right? So it'll be a personification, but will allow you to mint more, which will be called kaijus, right? And your kaijus are the equivalent of what you call pets in other games, but pets sounded too lame, so we're calling them kaijus, right? So these guys are kind of like your Pokemon monsters, right? That support you and allow you to, buff up, right? And they'll have skills that'll be complementary to your avatar skills, etc. Right? So yeah, all of that stuff is going to be coming out in separate articles. But as Rabbit was saying, it's so hard to not go into that because everything's tied together, right? The ISPO, the staking, the multi-chain, the NFTs, the competitions, the tribes, everything is just like very tightly coupled together. But again, happy to answer any questions regarding the ISPO.
Okay, so one of the things is, and you mentioned this, the NFTs don't stack up. So it's the same for the partner. Is it the same for the
Yeah,
partners, Copy and Meld right now?
yeah. Yeah, I briefly mentioned it a few minutes ago. So either you have either meld, copy, or both, but you're just getting one buff, right? You're just getting one bonus. They do not compound or build on top of each other.
Okay, just so everyone, you should visit the blog post in the DEGA blog, official DEGA blog. You will see the table and the detailed explanation for how these bonuses work, and you'll want those bonuses. Trust me. At the end of the ISPO, you will see the difference. It's significant, right?
Um, Freak, if you can make me co-host and the rabbit as well, and then you should drop and rejoin because you're really breaking up.
Okay,
And that might be your microphone, actually, Freak.
Yeah, I don't think it's the internet.
Can you?
my microphone. Let me check on something. Let me switch. Okay, I'll disconnect then. I'm making you co-host. I just send the invite to the rabbit, and I send the invite to you, Carlos, also. Okay, I'll be back. You guys take it. I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't get the co-host invite, but anyway.
No, that's okay. I got it, Carlos.
All right.
Is there anybody that has any questions out there that we haven't covered so far?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm not seeing comments here in the space, but I guess we just wrote a pretty good article.
I mean, the community support that we're getting on that article is amazing. I'm like so appreciative of you, of everyone who's coming in and, reading the documentation, understanding it, and making it so easy for everybody in the community to understand, some of these things. Because these articles can come across as like walls of text.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of information, and it's kind of like, every single product ever invented needs to have like a good, like a good instruction manual. Sometimes you don't want to read that instruction manual and you just want to play, and then you figure it out afterwards, or by asking questions or asking a friend or something like that. But we really, really do appreciate people going out there and reading and understanding those documents, because it's, Carlos and I and everybody can't be in the community all the time answering these questions.
Mm-hmm.
So, you experts out there in the Cardano ecosystem who can come in and like just read those articles and be like, oh, okay, here's exactly what you're talking about. And you can reveal that to people in the community. They appreciate it as well, probably as much as we do. So, we're very grateful.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, super grateful. A lot of people from the cornucopias community, a lot of people from the Bell community has have joined us and supported us. So we're very grateful to our partners communities for joining in and stepping up and supporting everybody else who's new. And we actually do have a lot of new people staking. Right there was a lot of people asking like
Yeah, yeah.
very basic questions like how do I get my ADA to my wallet? Am I doing it right? And then somebody was like, "Is this your first ISPO?" And they were like, "Yeah, I guess so." And it's nice, right? We're kind of like
No,
opening the doorway towards Cardano, ISPOs, and crypto for some people. So that's really nice.
you know, I do have to say also, Cardano makes it really, really easy
The
to
easiest,
participate in stake
the
pools.
easiest.
It is. I have participated in a lot of validation across blockchain, and I'm not a. I never really, I knew of Cardano and I played around with Cardano, and Cardano projects and everything like that, but I never took a really deep dive in the ecosystem. It seriously can take you like 15 seconds to do this
Mm,
if
yeah,
you have your wallet set up. It can take you like a half an hour to 45 minutes with massive fees doing this in other places.
yeah,
So, if this is, I would say that, you're going to get spoiled
yeah,
by Cardano. I got spoiled by Cardano. There are just, there are functions and things, technical things in Cardano that are first class, like really first class stuff. So, hats off to our partners in Meld and Cornucopias for building in a very technically elegant blockchain system.
yeah. Particularly delegation and staking is super simple. So that kudos to
All
that
right,
design. Okay, so
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 far we have
Freak is back. So
Yeah.
maybe we can we
Wanted-
can step back into ISPO chats.
Uh, no, but what you were talking is really important because all one of the other thing is the community is helping each other, and seeing that in action even before we planned it, people that already know so much of what Dega is doing, how that ISPO works, all those things is kind of like magical, and that's what I was expecting with the ISPO model. Is my microphone working now?
now it's perfect, man. Perfect.
Yeah, now you
Okay.
sound great, brother.
Okay, perfecto. So I'll put my radio voice in right now. No, and the questions that the community have been asking my team like really basic to you, but for me and for others are questions that are really important because people are questioning, for example, about minimums. What wallets can I use? What is the epoch, and do I have to stake now, or is just counting from the 19th? So can you expand a little bit about that?
Sure, sure. So one of the things is, we set the date for the ISPO June 19th, in the sense that that's when we're publishing the dashboard and everything. One of the things for us in Dega that's super important is to be very well organized, structured, and coordinated with our technical team. So that's the date that the dashboard is coming out, and that is not moving, right? It's not getting delayed, and it's not being moved forward. That is the date. Now, in the blockchain consensus protocol that Cardano uses, you need a few epochs of having your validator running before that so that people can delegate to, right? So we actually had our validator running from like 2 weeks ago, I think. So it's been, ready to roll since about a month before we actually do the reveal. But you know, so the stake pool has to be open even before we publish the dashboard. So that's why some people found it when we posted the numbers about the article, and they just started delegating. So we were like, we were afraid of some people getting scammed, right? Because if we don't say anything, and then people are posting it around, and then somebody might, get tricked, right? Somebody might receive, hey, this is the Dega stake pool, and they're gonna go and delegate there. So we wanted to be very careful with that. So we said, well, they found the stake pool. Let's just reveal it, right? And then we added that information to the article, and yeah, so anybody can start delegating there. The rewards will account right from today. So feel free to delegate. It's not a problem. You will be getting everything, the bonuses, everything when you start delegating today. Um, it's just that we wanted to give this week for Q&A, right, before releasing the dashboard, but everybody just got too excited.
Yeah, that leak caught me by surprise, and then you went in and confirmed that. And seconds later, people started staking. It didn't even take, like a day. It was immediately people started staking in the pool. That was magic in the making. For me, it was really, really exciting. Of course, it caught me off my feet, but I think that was really impressive. So for people that are staking right now, the 30 epoch the bonus will count from now, but it doesn't matter if you stake the 19, it will also count for you. Am I right on that?
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Like if somebody, I don't know, if somebody had something else to do with their ADA and they're gonna stake until the 19th, you will still have enough time to gather, as much data as you want. So, for example, we said the minimum of epoch is going to be 30 epochs, and the maximum is going to be 42, right? So at 42, we're cutting off regardless of how much we generate, right? That's it. And the date is on the article. It's in the article. I think it's the 6th of January, but just check the article in our blog post. And that's the day we shut down, right? Regardless of
It's the 15th. The
the
15th.
15th of January, is it?
Yes, January 15th, 2024.
Okay, yeah, that's the cutoff date. So that day, the ISPO ends. There's no more DEGA rewards. So, but yeah, it's like 42 epochs, right? So you have a lot of time. Even from the June 19th, it's 42 epochs. So you have a lot of time to generate DEGA rewards.
Yeah, you will have kind of like 12 epochs to get to the maximum bonus of the 30 plus bonus of epochs, and do the math. Every epoch is 5 days. So
Mm-hmm. Yep,
okay, perfect. So there's still time. People don't need to rush it. But the question is, so if I stake earlier, I reach the bonuses faster,
that is true.
which will also grant me more at the end of the 42 epoch
That's true.
period.
Yeah, that would be the case. Yes.
So I want to stake early. I want to stake earlier so I can reach that bonus even faster. And the same for the NFT that is coming out, and the same for the partner copy and meld. It's kind of like, does it compound in time?
Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, if you have our partner tokens, right? If you have Copy, if you have Meld right now, right, versus having it, let's say 3 epochs from now, then you've missed out on the bonus for those 3 epochs, right? So if you don't have Copy, go get your Copy. If you don't have Meld, go get your Meld. There's a minimum that's required. It's in the blog post. Go get it, and then you'll start getting your data token bonus from the start.
Dude, you want to go in with the bonuses already in the house, already in your wallet, because the only one that depends on time is the other bonus. But having this from the beginning, it will count at the end, and it will be a big difference if you do the correct math.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Okay. So, is there anything else you guys want to point out that people need to take into account, that people need, or just an invitation for people to come into this ISPO, this history in the making, as I call it? Anything else you want to say about this before we jump into some of the questions community has been asking?
I'd say like an open invitation to join us, and also to bring on board other people from the Cardano ecosystem, right? In this industry, in the blockchain or crypto industry, the best way to be known is word of mouth, right? It's not, you know, paying billboards or anything like that, right? It's by people, sharing your project in the right groups. So please do propagate the DEGA ISPO as much as you can, help us grow, and we'll in turn invite you to this adventure of all the cool things we're building up.
Perfect. So people coming to our socials and start staking. This is a great opportunity to be part of this. So one of the questions is what happens after the 42 epochs? How do I get my Dega? How will it happen? That's a recurring question in the community.
Yeah, so there's this concept called token generation event, TGE. So when we do our TGE, it's scheduled for, it's going to be after the ISPO for sure, like so everybody gets their rewards assigned first. Now that we have your wallet and the total amount of data you're going to get, it'll be just distributed via script, right? For the people that are doing staking or delegation in the Cardano ISPO, you'll get it as a Cardano native token, right? Just like any other ISPO. And that's about it. Like it'll just be airdropped into your wallet.
The other question is there. I know it's in the article, but people have been asking it, so I just want to record it and have it live. Is there a minimum I can stake?
There's a minimum for the bonus. There's no minimum in terms of doing delegation there in the wallet. But yeah, I mean, obviously you don't want to do something like 10 cents, right? But yeah, because you're gonna pay fees, right? When you do delegation, there's some fees that you gotta pay there. So because it's a transaction, right, in the blockchain, so you don't want to, I don't know, pay $3, whatever, right? Like 3 ADA in fees, and delegate 0.01 ADA, something like that, right? Just don't, really low, ridiculous numbers, right? But in general, right, like, $50, $10, $20, $100, that should be fine. So just do your delegation, and yeah. So no, it's like open for anybody in that sense.
Nice. And the other question was, is this the only way to get Dega token? Oh, we can address that one later, but or if you want to answer it, is this the only way to earn Dega tokens?
Yeah, we're going to be doing the ISPO, of course, right? The ISPO is going to run on 4 different ecosystems: Cardano, Polkadot, Polygon, Ethereum, and in that order. And there's also, we're hosting competitions, right? We'll talk about that in a few minutes, but basically we're also doing competitions with the Dega tribes. That's also a way to earn Dega. There's also a contest going on, content creation and creativity contest. That'll also be priced. The price will be in Dega. And we'll be revealing way more mechanisms about the gamification that we're building out in our ecosystem. Because in Dega, basically think of it like this, right? Like everything that you're going to be doing in Dega to support the community, to provide value, be it inviting people, creating content, coding, if you're a developer and you want to build on top of Dega, everything will be measured through what's called engaging a progression system. And there will be Dega rewards for that, right? But again, that's like a whole separate conversation, and it needs its own articles, its own videos, and we'll get into that for sure, like in a few weeks. But for now, the best way is the ISPO.
Okay. So one, thank you for that, and I think we will announce something today about that, also about the contest. Uh, but at the end, the other question is, like, people in the community were talking, and some of the new people coming into the Cardano ecosystem couldn't understand, like, the difference with the ICO. That is, you're not giving your money away; you're delegating your money, and at the end, you get your money and you get the Dega tokens. So maybe explain a little bit that, because you explain everything so easy, bro, and it'll help with the community answers.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we did explain ISPOs at the beginning of
Yep.
this call, but just brief. I don't want to bore our people that are here, but just briefly, basically, instead of going out there and purchasing tokens to support a project, what you do is you delegate to what's called a Cardano stake pool. You can Google Cardano stake pool delegation. You'll find hundreds of videos explaining what that is. But at the end of the day, the point is that your ADA, you get to keep your ADA. You don't give it away, you don't sell it, you don't use it to buy anything. You're just delegating to support the Cardano network, and you're also gaining DEGA tokens in exchange for that. But yeah, I don't want to go
Yeah.
again into it, right? We just explained it at the beginning.
Yeah, and the last question I have here in my list of questions was about the DEGA token and the partners. So is the DEGA token going to work in our partnerships? Is it going to work with cornucopias, and is it going to work in Meld, like in their ecosystems?
I mean, we definitely can't speak about what our partners' roadmap is, right? They have their own priorities. Obviously, we are working very tightly together with both of our main partners, right? Which is Mel, Cornucopias, and even Bricken. We have discussed many things that we want to do together, but we definitely can't speak to their roadmap, right? What I can say is that blockchains are open systems, they're open protocols, so anybody can integrate on top of it, right? So, the partnership makes it nice in the sense that we can bring together synergies, but anybody's open to building on top of DEGA. It's just the same we can build on top of Meld and Cornucopias because they're building on top of blockchains, right? So that's a beautiful thing about using this technology.
And going a little bit further with this, Carlos, you can tell me to shut up and not answer it. But it's right now that people are starting to get DEGA tokens, and once the token drops, the question is, will I be able to use it with the DEGA technology in once it is like once it drops? So it's kind of like, will I be able to create my own ISPO or my own meta chain and all those things?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah. No, that's not a secret like at all, right? Like the utility of the DEGA token is that it's the fuel for the infrastructure that we're providing across multiple ecosystems, right? So it'll have a lot of utilities. Rabbit already published an article going into detail on all of the use cases for the DEGA token. Things like deploying new layer twos, accessing white label services like NFT marketplaces, DEXs, NFT minters, and many, many other things, right? So, yeah, basically the DEGA token is like the fuel and the glue that binds together the ecosystem.
This is really exciting, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see what's going to happen after the 42 epochs. But in the multi-chain, the epochs, like when you start putting in another chains into the ISPO, will the epochs change, or will that extend the time of the ISPO, or the rewards will be shortened?
So the Cardano information is out there, right? And that's not going to change, right? The time in which the ISPO ends, it ends. It's in the article. We already set the allocation that is going to be given to the delegators, right, for the Cardano stake pool. It's in the article as well. It's a very precise number. And then each of the other ecosystems have their own respective allocation of DEGA tokens. It's all the same, right? We're not favoring anybody. Everybody's getting the same token allocation. And whether it is used or not, it depends on the amount of delegation that we get, right? So if we get a large amount of delegation, then all the allocation will be given, right? If not, then it's not given, right? Then it goes back to the foundation, DAO, and team pool, and then from there we got to see what we're gonna do, right? But yes, it's like it does not affect the other. When we start bringing the ISPO technology to the other ecosystems, it will not affect any of the numbers or data that you see in the article, and it's important to, again, it'll be equal for everybody, right? Nobody's going to get preferential treatment in that sense.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Anything else you want to add before we switch topics to our agenda this week and the announcement we're doing? Rabbit, Carlos.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Other than your microphone is going haywire again.
I just got a call. I got a call on the phone. So
Okay, no, I have nothing else to add. I just I want to echo Carlos. Get people to join us. Get see find those white hot centers where you can drop this in so that we can all benefit from this ISPO.
Carlos, anything else or?
No, I'm good.
Okay, perfect. So this week we will have Carlos speaking and in several shows, and we also have some AMAs going on. So Crypto Banter will tomorrow in Crypto Banter we will have Carlos there for a moment, and it will be interesting. Also talking ISPO on Thursday we have the Melt Video AMA, which will announce and send out the invitation for you. Like the last one was amazing. Like it really cleared a lot of the questions and things I needed to know. At least for me, it was amazing. We also have a video AMA with Bricken, so like Thursday is going to be really active for you, Carlos. That's good because we also have the space, the Twitter space in the morning every day. So and then you're back on Friday in the show Crypto Banter. So there's a lot of things happening. To find more information about the ISPO, about DEGA, about everything going on. So I invite you to follow our socials and Telegram and Discord channel because you will find a lot of opportunities to ask questions, to maybe talk, and to clear everything out, even though the posts and the articles that have been published are pretty clear, simple, and easy to understand. I invite everyone to just read because a lot of the questions that happen in the community are already answered in the articles. So go to the blog posts, go through them, read the ISPO on Cardano, read the token utility, read those things because it will give you a clear understanding on what we're doing and how to do it and how to play it. So before Carlos, we got to do this announcement because the DEGA Batalla is something big and we've been preparing for this for a long time. We already have some test runs. So do you want to announce what we want to do? This is a tribal contest and how it works.
Sure, happy to do so. So, we built everything in the tech ecosystem is going to be accessible via chat interface, right? And some people might say, well, why would you do that? Why not make a flashier, cooler UX? To be clear, we do have a vision for many different types of applications that we will be building, but everything has to be accessible from a chat interface, just the same, because data is about onboarding people in emerging markets, right? And a lot of people in emerging markets only have $40 smartphones, right? But any smartphone, even the $40 smartphone, can perfectly use a chat application, right? It can access Telegram, WhatsApp, Signal, Discord without much of an issue. So that's why, right? And as part of that ethos, we created a very simple simulation gameplay, right? Based on um, kind of like a similar concept to a PvP battle, right? And in the future, we'll add a version in which teams will be able to battle, so it'll be similar to kind of like a team deathmatch. But for now, it's a it's a one-on-one, and we call it the Dega Batalla bot. And one of the cool things that we're doing that I've never seen this being done in any game, and we're going to take it to other games as well. It's going to become kind of like our thing in terms of a new style of gameplay. in what we're doing is we're involving social media, right? So, for example, in the DEGA Batalla bot, when you issue a challenge and the other person accepts, each of you get a tweet, right, from one of DEGA, we call them DEGA voices. And then those tweets, you need to get likes and retweets to get a power buff, right? So this is similar to the concept of the spirit bomb that you would see Goku use in Dragon Ball, right? Which is people giving their strength and their support and their energy to the warrior so that he can achieve victory. So that's the same concept we're implementing with the DEGA Batalla bot. So we're going to have tribes, each of them are going to pick their warrior, right? And then their warrior is going to challenge the other one. We're going to have a battle. And then each of tribe has to go and get like retweets for their warrior so that they can get the buff, right? And there's a scaling, there's a scale, there's a power scale in terms of, you get the first bonus when you get the first buff, when you get 10 likes or 10 retweets, right? And likes will give you health, retweets will give you attack power. So you get the first buff at 10, then you get the second buff at 100, and then you get the third buff at 1,000, right? And the reason for doing it like that is so that somebody that just has, 5 or 10 more supporters doesn't just absolutely overwhelm the other person, right? Like you really have to go out there and bring your tribe together to support you if you want to go to the next buff level, right? So everybody here, if you're not in a tribe, go join a tribe or make your own tribe and get rolling, right? Because we'll be having competitions like this all through the ISPO, and the dynamics of the gameplay will be getting more complicated, right? So the first one is just a 1 versus 1. We're just using Twitter. In the future, we'll be adding, we'll be integrating Twitch, we'll be integrating TikTok and a few other social media, and with different dynamics, right? And also the NFTs, the avatars, the kaijus, all of them will start to have a role to play in this interaction. But for now, it's super simple. We should run a few test battles, just to show people how it is.
Let's do it.
And after that, let's get rolling. Let's have the tribes battle it out and see who has, the biggest active community, right? Because, a lot of people may have, people, that they invited to their tribe and just, hey, just join my tribe. And, there's no engagement, there's no interactions. With this, we're going to put your tribe to the test, right? Because if you have a tribe with 100 members, right, but you're only getting 5 likes, man, your tribe needs to, come together. So we're going to put that to the challenge.
Yeah, so this will be announced with details in the upcoming days, but there's a huge, immense bag of prizes for this. So what you want to do as a tribe is choose a representative and get the whole tribe to back him up. Because you will have time to prepare. We will teach you how to use it, but you will need the backing of your people. So you don't want to dilute the support. You want to choose a representative of the tribe, and for that you can also use the Batalla bot, the battle bot in Telegram, and do a contest and see who's going to represent you, who can drive the more likes, the more retweets into this. So trust me, this is going to be, I know Rabbit hates when I say trust me. This time is trust me, this is going to be a huge battle. So it is going to take some time to prepare. We will give you some time to test, to practice, to get going, to, like and understand how the bot works, how the likes and how the retweets work. And then you will choose a representative, and hopefully each of the 10, I think we have around 10 tribes already, and there will be about 2-3 more tribes coming. So it's gonna be something big. It's gonna be something interesting to see which tribe has the most real engagement and the real traction. So
Yep. Yep, it'll be very exciting. And this is a totally new type of gameplay that we're adding, a new mechanic for gameplay, and we're going to be exporting this to other partners as well. I got to drop right now because I got another call with a potential partner in a few minutes. So I got to say goodbye, but it's been a true pleasure having this conversation. Everybody here, thank you for joining us. I don't know, Freak, is there something else on your side, or should we?
No, we can call it a day. Just stay tuned for tomorrow's spaces, same time, same place. Thank you. Thank you very much, Carlos. Thank you very much, Rabbit.
All right. Well then, see you, everybody.
Do we have a question from the audience here, Freak? Looks like somebody's requested.
It looks like someone has. Carlos, you can drop. If Rabbit can stay, we can answer some of the questions. John Gamify, are you? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, John Gamify has requested, so come on to the stage, my friend, and ask the question.
Okay, guys. I'll be seeing you. Have a great day.
Take care, Carlos.
Take care,
Bye.
Carlos.
Okay, shoot. But it has to be quick.
Okay.
Let's go.
First of all, thanks for giving me the opportunity to ask. I have two questions. The first one is, do you use renewable energy for the Cardano stake pool?
Sorry?
Do you use renewable energy for the Cardano stake pool?
I gotta check with the engineering team where we're hosting that.
Okay. The second question is, beside the rewards boost, have you thought about giving out an NFT after the ISPO to show that you were supporter of the ISPO and have participated, let's say, in all epochs with NFT?
Yeah.
Which also.
Yeah, there's an NFT coming out. We'll be publishing the details shortly, and the level of your NFT will depend on how much you've supported the ISP. So yes.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Sure thing, John.
Yeah, bye.
Okay,
Bye-bye, everybody.
John, thank you very much. Carlos, thank you very much. Are there any other questions in the audience? Do we have more questions, John, that we can address, or we can call it a day? I don't see any more. Okay, so people, this space is being recorded, and we will have another space tomorrow at the same time. Thank you very much for doing this. Thank you very much for being the game changers, for being present, for staking, and for making this happen. We couldn't do this without you. Get your friends, get your family, get everyone in here, because it's worth it and it's fun. So thank you very much. See you all tomorrow, and take care. I have no music for the ending this time because my microphone was failing, but imagine we have the usual music, the music that we use for this. So thank you very much. Bye-bye, everyone.